sound of the women around him uterus, but he don't know where it's coming from.
Right.
But he hear the sound. So he play it on his instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And then he can put words to it. Right? When he did that woman wrong, don't he always sing the blues? Right? Mm-hmm. And then he talk about how bad his life been since she been gone.
Facts.
Right? Ain't no sunshine in the heart of the city. Right? Ain't no sunshine when she gone. He got the musical backdrop from the frequency of her dances as he translated it into music to play for the people. But he don't know where he hearing this music play at. And it all rides the wave of mitochondrial resonance, because mitochondrial resonance is the carrier of the love frequency, which is the root to all music. Okay, look, this is me and Blue Pill coming back together. Was it 2 years later?
2 years later, yes.
2 years.
Remember 2 years ago, it was a concert, a Free Larry Hoover concert.
That's right.
In LA.
Right. Indeed it was.
Who was in it?
It was Ye and Drake.
Yeah. Right. Now, at the time that was going on, it was a chapter or a book in Revelation was playing out in the stars, where it said that the woman was heavy pregnant with child, and she was in labor, and the dragon was waiting to consume the child at its birth.
At its birth, yes.
Okay. That's what the star alignment was when they did that concert. Now, in the Gemini constellation, Virgo constellations are preeminent at this time, because while the dragon is waiting to consume the Gemini, the twin pillars, is what she's holding on to. Right? They have art from Christian artists' rendition of the painting showing the dragon waiting to devour the child, and the woman is standing there, she's holding on to the pillars. And she's pregnant. And the reason why they're showing that, because they're showing us an artist's rendition of a stellar event. Right? So now they wrote about it, they painted it, and it played out in the stars. Now, there's something called a turnaround. When the energy come back that's been put out. What's Kanye's zodiac sign?
It's Gemini.
What's Kendrick's zodiac sign?
Gemini.
So Drake now trapped between the two pillars.
The two pillars, yes.
Which is the Gemini flip. Of the beginning flips the end as they slay the dragon.
As they slay the dragon, right.
This comes from the hero's journey. If you go back to all of the great heroes, they all had to save the lady from the dragon.
Yes, the damsel from the dragon.
Right? The hero's journey is the blueprint for the pretender to the throne to have a seamless transition of power. As one age closes, the new age open, the people that's responsible for it, they watching these stellar events, and they watching what the people wrote about these stellar events, and then they watching how is it playing out in the human arena, because we playing the parts on Earth in our day-to-day life, never knowing that we all imitate one of them stars in the sky.
That part.
So when we see the codes come in, they binary codes, it look like the streamer in the Matrix. But that's not how the ancients told us about it. The ancients showed us long arms reaching from the solar orb with hands on the end,
Right.
touching on the family.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing. It's the data, the upgrades is telling you the holy drama. What we about to go through is already something that the ancients have mapped out by following the stars for a prolonged period of time.
Yes.
Cycles repeat. Some cycles take longer than others to repeat due to the amount of distance between the 2 points in which the energy returns. So this gives you a varying turnaround time. Some women have instant manifestation where they could be sitting there and they clasp their hand over their uterus and say, I sure need $50 to feed these babies. And then 2, 3 hours later, somebody knocking on the door with a $50 check that they where she overpaid something 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she ain't had no knowledge of it. Did it really happen, or did her manifestation cause a Mandela effect?
Mm.
Mm.
You see,
So
so when you
Yeah.
yeah, when you put it all together, it's explaining itself as it's playing out. We watching it, trying to figure out what it's telling us. The inheritance comes from the motherland of the wealth of the family.
yes.
So the mother disseminates the wealth to the children. If you want to undermine that, supplant that, Yakub that, right? You replace the motherland with the patriarchs, and you have to create a fictitious system, which is an elaborate illusion, a David Copperfield trick to make everybody believe that the mother is irrelevant. So you erase her out of your religions and you push a homosexual agenda in order to feminize the males so they don't stand up and fight for their mama. Look, I was just having a conversation earlier on Facebook with a guy, and I was telling him, harp is turned off.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay attention to the shooting resonance and the solar activity, and then you can see what's causing the weather pattern to be freaky. Because the shooting resonance is freaky as hell right now, and the solar flares and the solar flashes and the solar storms is freaky right now. So the weather on the physical earth is going to be freaky.
Mm-hmm.
This is the so-called prophecy of floods and earthquake in diverse places.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? And Garvey said he coming back with the millions and millions of ancestors in the whirlwind. What's the whirlwind? That's the cyclone, that's the tornado, that's the hurricanes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's even the little dirt devils in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But it's also the whirlpools in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the ancestors, he's explaining us an old ancient science of when the ancestors start to activate the descendants to wake up and redeem the ancestors. They use weather patterns as signs for us, as wonders for us to read. Right? And then we start comparing like what we seeing on the ground with what the weather doing, and we start seeing a whole story play out on the ground influenced by the weather.
Indeed. Damn.
People don't sunbathe on cloudy days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You don't go to the beach in a rainstorm. So the people responding to the weather with the whole arrangement that it could have went bad with the police easy, because them rotten bastards know there's some redemption on the way, just like all of them. So from there, the ceremony kind of looked like this. You got to have what they call the mother of the noon. That's just like a nun. She's dressed in all black, but you can't see her because she's all the way at the top in the back. And this is a symbol for the queen's chamber or the grandmother's chamber, which is the dark phase of the mother under the crescent moon as she looks down. So she's looking down over the elders officiating, right? This is a ceremony out of Egypt. And over this,
there's these females who represents the daughters of righteousness, right? And they each one represent a council seat, 72 council seats in the High Council. And this is where you get your 72 elders from. And as long as these women understand that they're doing this knowingly and willingly, and they giving that brother his support, this is turned into a powerful form of African conjure straight out of Egypt. Now watch what happened. When they line them up, now the sister Tanetta made this gorgeous, gorgeous dress for these ladies called the Dress 19. And the Dress 19 has this sleek look to it. It's gorgeous. But let's say you take those 72 elder positions, and 3 of the positions are your out front. So I'm going to go to 3 of them in a minute. But it's 69 Dress 19s all around beneath the dark mother who sits in seclusion. Now, this would probably be represented like if they was to do an African ritual with it and really put the power behind it, they would represent this probably by Farrakhan's wife, and they can really draw the power from the highest heaven with this ritual so that he can be protected and draw in a whole lot of power. Now, watch what'll happen. Now, nobody get to the Father unless they go through the Son. So when the Son is laid back, like for instance, like when we watching the Supreme Captain Mustafa, he don't be all up in the mix. He don't be trying to outshine his father. The brother be in the background, but put your hands on Pops. You on your own. I wouldn't want to be you. Like, so that kind of energy, that level of respect between father and son automatically generates, right, energy. Now, remember, it was 2 angels. The first one came out and to declare righteousness, but they didn't say who righteousness that this angel was declaring, but they mean messenger. But this case, when they're talking about it, it would be Farrakhan, but he would be sitting in Elijah Muhammad's position. Because you got to remember, Elijah Muhammad was always known as the messenger, and would get highly upset if you try to call him a prophet. Now, angel mean messenger. So if Farrakhan's sitting here in Elijah's seat, that make him automatically become the just angel. My faithful servant in whom the Lord is well pleased. So, and he's sitting here, his son is no way going to stand by and watch this happen. So when they come out in the ritual, and he want to speak from the position of power, and he would probably, be empowered from the 50th of the galactic seat. And the only person that would be authorized to do him is the one whose seat it is. So this means that would make the Son be the second angel. And the second angel came to proclaim the innocence of that first one. And this is the opening of the judgment, which will bring us to the recompense of the righteous and the condemnation of the wicked. And that the impostors will be revealed. That's a powerful ritual if they was to use it. And so, let's say, for instance, we take this brother and he do this. He come out with these. Now, let's say they do it at Mariama, let's say, because that's a beautiful, beautiful place. All of the women that support the minister show up on the inside, and all of the men I don't care if they gangbangers or secret society members, come out in your full regalia, because everybody should honor a righteous man. I mean, like, when you really think about it, if God can tell you that this person is righteous, how in the hell you gonna say they not? Now, that would just be like if they was going by how the prophecy laid out and the known or some partially unknown rituals of our own culture. This is us. So, like, for a long time, a lot of the masters was calling to try to get the one that was going to finally clean all this BS up. So, what you realize is the last thing when you offer a challenge like that is all of the condemners. They got to bring their facts. Now, Farrakhan a Muslim, so that's what it say in the Quran. I mean, challenge him. That's what, now this. If I was sitting in Farrakhan's seat, I would challenge him, but he would never get the opportunity to challenge him because I already know that lion gonna jump out there in front of that his father, because no man can get to the father without going through the son. And so this would be the structure of that ceremony that would give it so much power. So when you see all of those women up there that's dressed, and all of the women in the inside that support that man, that's automatic mitochondrial power. All heaven will open up to protect the righteous man under them conditions. I mean, this if we know our history, because this is our shit. This has always been ours. This ain't, we always, everything that you see in front of you belong to us, always have belonged to us, and y'all done fell for the okie doke. Y'all start accepting the mirror for the face. The mirror ain't the face, baby. I'm sorry to tell you. So you've been deceived. So what they do? They took our history and altered it and made us think things had to be different than what they was. But no, all the signs been fulfilled and it's all over with now. So if I was Farrakhan and them brothers in the nation, shit, I'd do some fucking African conjure straight out the valleys of Egypt, straight off the Nile, you know, and then pull a power move on them. Call out Mary Barrow from the General Motors, because God himself directly contacted this wench, because you know her name Mary because she a rebellious woman, and her last name is Barrow, which means fiery spirit. So this rebellious woman with this fiery spirit that don't want to listen to God himself, he should point that out, and it's verifiable. All the information verifiable, because after the Pope and the Queen get what they got coming, if these people that's doing all of this manual labor not compensated, then they gonna all end up going the same direction and getting the same result. So, I mean, shit, like before I go, the last thing I'm gonna say, if it was me, I'm just saying me, I'll flood that Mas Mariama with so many women dressed in white, ready to prove the righteousness of the minister. And you wouldn't be able to ever know that the Queen Mother was there, because she got to get a son permission to speak, because you always got to get permission to speak from your highest elder that's directly related to you and present. So, but you ain't supposed to see her. You ain't supposed to see her while she's officiating over the ceremony, because she's the dark phase of the moon. So right now, like, this out cold, because right now we at the dark phase of the moon, the new cycle. This is the dawning of the Day of the Dead, the Cinco de Mayo. And so right now there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of power to be drawn in under the right circumstances, and to draw this power in, it's not even that hard. I mean, like, and now, like, black people, like, this video, ain't nobody gonna share. Everybody gonna look at him like, oh, that was cool, man. That was some slick stuff. But here go the thing. If they knew the ceremony and they did it, they would be instantly restored back to what they was before these suckers took us and made us different than what we are. We would be going back to being in our full glory. I'm trying to get out here. 1 second. And so, basically, I would just perform that ritual. That's the most powerful thing right now that could be done, is to perform that ritual that the Son speak on behalf of the Father. And it'll match all of the prophecies, tie everything together. And then when it tie everything together, it open up the floodgates. See, because Mary Bear know that the Son of Man got to rise out of the Orient assembly. She already know. She been told. But she want to be hard-headed. Now, when he called that press conference and exposed her ass, and tell her that God told her to do something and she being hard-headed, and say, now as long as you be hard-headed and don't listen, I'm going to show you what's going to happen. Just watch the queen who have sacrificed babies and drunk baby blood, and don't think that the God of gods, no, the creator of this universe, the God of righteousness and justice, like he not going to know that she eating babies and drinking their blood. You see, or point out Francis as he beginning to break down like a robot whose parts are wearing out right in front of everybody's face because I told his ass to get out of the Vatican. Now, Farrakhan point that out and get them 3 kings to make their visit to the Orion belt over here in the right hand of the mother so that we can get all of these things adjusted correctly. It got to start. The compensation is here. All the other stuff over with. Y'all slept through all of the destruction. Y'all slept through it. It was going on right in your face the whole time. You ain't see it. This is about balancing the scale. This is about the poor being able to eat. No, the rich, we ain't worried about them. They already eat. This is about the poor being able to eat. But the worker, it's all start with the worker because don't nothing move without the labor of the worker. And we got to bring that back to the forefront. So, like if Farrakhan point that shit out, them motherfuckers would be shaking in their goddamn boots that they had to respond to that shit. See, I don't want them personally to respond. That's why I didn't really make no full effort to get the information to them. I'm talking about the Pope and the Queen. I directly had to contact Mary Bear because that's the rule. So she was the one I didn't have to directly connect with the other 2 because she can drag the other 2 of the 3 kings down to meet, the newborn. And so if he put her ass on blast, they'll bag up off of him. But that got a secondary side effect too within our communities where we'll see unity on a level that we haven't seen in years. And, and if they start to get a little rambunctious, I'd call some motherfuckers out the grave to come and set this shit right. And I really don't want to have to do that because I did promise mama that I would try to do what's in the best interest of the most and don't make the innocent suffer for the guilty. But at the same time, if the innocent is the ignorant, I can't help that, because these people operating under a concept detrimental to the people called ignorance is no excuse of the law. So if I was Farrakhan, that's what I would do. Well, not just Farrakhan, he shouldn't have to do nothing because he done did his work. And Queen of Heaven and Earth probably feel about Farrakhan that by his works and his suffering that he has proven himself a just man before the throne of God. I mean, that's all I got to say about it. So I hope y'all left me some comments to review down there. And share this video with any nation brother you know because it makes sense if you really think about it. Why not use what your ancestors left you to make you as most powerful as you have to be? It's real simple. And so, but the whole of the ceremony, like Farrakhan got a soldier up there in Flint, Jesse X. He know the layout, and he got direct access to the full layout. He can even have it laid out in written form if necessary. But sometimes those things ain't necessary. But they got soldiers all over the place with boots on the ground everywhere. All them FOIs, man. And then I remember when I was gangbanging, they was able to put boots on the ground that you didn't even recognize. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they know how to take care of their business correctly. But I'm just saying from a scientific viewpoint or from a hermetic perspective or from a very high priestly perspective, if you want to set things right, you can't allow the righteous to be condemned without contest. So you use the same measure that they judge the righteous by, is that let them judge themselves by that same standard, and then, wisdom got to precede justice. So then, maybe after I officiate over or adjusting the contracts for these auto workers so that these people could be treated fairly, I'll be willing to, referee some, United Nations jargon back and forth while we find out why these people want to condemn this righteous man and put this shit on the world stage, and we can probably get back to living life on Earth as humans again and get away from all this reptilian backbiting shit, you know. I'm just saying, that's just how I see it as a scientist, as a I had my journeys, and I traveled, you know, all around the lodges. I don't go up indoors I ain't invited in, so I'm not gonna invite myself to nobody else's house because that's very a conflict of interest to me, which means that I gotta walk at a distance, lockstep with my brothers. I have to observe what the others can't see and see what the others can't observe. In that regard, I'm gonna say one love to the people, and let everybody know right now, Farrakhan he had been declared a righteous man by by the highest of heaven. So I don't know why they messing with him. They asking for something they don't really want, because Judgment Day is at hand, y'all. So share the video, get the message out, and let it be known that as soon as these people pay these people, we can get on with the proceedings this evening. You understand me? We can get all of these shit out in the open, But if don't nobody know how to perform their function, then those weak parts causes that portion of the building to collapse. Last time it was about 300. We don't have to go through that this time because we all a little wiser now when they told us the story somewhat in reverse so as to confuse us. But it worked out in the favor because now you was able to have a simulation of the actual signs that they gave you as a false lead to mislead you. And then you was able to use your African conjure like Garvey or them Haitians down there, Jack, or like those Obey down there in, Jamaica or the, you know, Madame Laveau down there in Louisiana type situation. That African conjure always liberated us, and he in the perfect position now to exercise some African conjure. I want to see it, because then everybody can stop saying God ain't here. They'll get to see that shit firsthand and present, All right, family, I'll talk to y'all later. One love, everybody. Everybody that see this video should post on their page, hands off Farrakhan, the elect of the Lord. That's all y'all got to do. Put it on y'all back of y'all screensaver so that they know that it don't matter whether they black, white. It don't even matter. Don't matter whether you straight, gay, cause I got a good perception of what they trying to do, and we ain't gonna fall for it this time, and we ain't gonna let them condemn another righteous man. Look what they did to Tupac and Nipsey. Like I ain't watching. And 22 years later, here I am, goddammit. But so spread the word, share the video, and then tell whoever you share it with to share it to everybody in their friends list until we get the message that everybody need to back this play with Farrakhan, however he play it, because he's been chosen as this voice right now to speak until the Son of Man makes his actual public presence in his full glory. I'm just saying, that's just how I see it. Now, y'all can disagree, because we all have that option. This is a free will universe. But if all of our wheels is pointed in the same direction, there's a little obstacle that can stop it. Think about it. All right, so I'll talk to y'all. One love, and let's see what happened with this resurrection situation.
So let's back up the car a little bit. Remember when you had me on here to talk about the Maherta?
Yes.
Okay,
January this
remember?
year. Yeah.
Yeah. So remember I told you because of the alignment,
Uh-huh.
now we have an unrestricted path from the center of creation or the solar system or the universe or however you want to call it. But
Uh-huh.
it's a direct open link. So during that time, it's only a short period of time, but we get what's called source codes in the DNA that comes in by way of mitochondria through the matrix in the mitochondria. Okay, so once this frequency hit, it passes through the physical bodies of the humans on the way to the core of the earth. It strikes the core of the earth, which they say is an iron core, but that's the central sun. And it's not a solidified body, it's more plasmic in nature. Right? They call it the black sun in the Masonic lodges. Okay? So once those source codes went through the mitochondrial and went through the earth, has a mitochondrial counterpart in the soil. And all of these is accumulating information as those source codes reach the core. Now, the data is then transferred through Schumann resonance, right? Which sends a frequency wave out from the earth. These frequency waves, the closest planetary bodies with massive responses is the lunar orb and the solar orb. When the codes from the source after it's been through the earth go to the sun, the solar rays begin to program what we call ultraviolet radiation. Right? So when you see it's calculating the math on what needs to be done to alter the genetic code of the existing species, and what's the upgrades to come based on the accumulated data that's accumulated DNA fed it. So the sun sends out the solar rays and ultraviolet radiation. Now, there's only two things known to alter DNA that naturally. One is the UV rays of the sun. The other one is gradual change through the upgrade of the program by the experience of the people who's trading DNA. Right? They call that evolution. Right? But all it is scientifically, it's more of upgrades than evolution. Okay, so the Earth responding by sending back massive energy spikes on the Schumann resonance field. And then the sun is responding back to the earth by showering the earth with these magnetic storms, geomagnetic storms, right? And these storms is bringing in the information to correct the errors in the DNA on the orders of the source code. Right? So now the UV rays is aligning the DNA for what we call in the spirit community, they call it the Great Awakening. Right? Where the veil of ignorance, the slumber of sleep being lifted off the psyche of the people, they begin to go back to operating from a higher intellectual capacity than before. Right? So this is the result when you look at the atmosphere. The atmosphere is in layers. And the penetration of each layer from the solar rays puts off a different luminescence.
Different color.
Right? And when it get to the ozone layer, this is the double oxygen blue molecule. Right? The 44 blue, by the way, blue pill.
Yes, sir.
Crooked Man walking Angel Bay. Which mean that these not only are these lighting up the atmospheric layers, it also has the propensity for massive, what we call lightning storms.
Yeah. That's taking place in Ohio right now.
That's what we call crooked man walking across the land.
Yes.
The shocker.
Yes.
Walking lightning. That's the symbol for walking lightning, or what we call tribally called lightning storms.
Yes.
When the tribes call it lightning storms, they don't behave the same way as when the earth called for them.
Right.
Yeah, when I first come out with information, sometimes it sounds far-fetched and unbelievable because we don't remember our culture.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We are manifest spirits of the earth in human form, guardians of the realm of the earth. But we have to use the spiritual tools in the physical realm, they arts and entertainment, not religion. The artist is more spiritual than the people following the religion to the letter. The people following the religion is more religious, but the people that's spilling out the truth of their heart, they speaking from the heart chakra. They speaking from what's called the true place.
Right.
These brothers doing these walks is ancient. It's not modern.
Mm-hmm.
Crip walking or C walking and B walking are mirrors of the same energy harnessed from the red house and the blue house, the motherland and the fatherland.
Mm-hmm.
We use those. So when you see the sisters be rump shaking, that's called the sway of the matriarch. They calling for earthquakes. And these earthquakes will shake the ground because the matriarchs with the right frequency shaking their rump is telling the earth to shake. And the earth responds with an earthquake somewhere. I remember the uterus is a musical instrument. And the musical instrument is insulated by the glue. Right? So imagine your kick drum. You ever see a kick drum and it got sandbags in it and towels and stuff?
Yeah.
Because it gives you a sharper bass. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the musical instrument of the uterus, it sends out a song directly to source when the women are dancing. Different dancers play the instrument in a different fashion.
Damn.
Example, in classical music, you playing the violin.
Yeah.
But in country music, you fiddling the fiddle.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same instrument,
Mm-hmm.
but it's used in two different manners with two different playing styles. Mm-hmm. Purple haze all in my eye. Excuse me while I kiss the sky.
Oh man.
New Orleans, don't let me get you.
Yeah. So this is the same musical knowledge that the old blues players, when they played their instrument, each one of them is mimicking how they perceive the sound of the women around him uterus, but he don't know where it's coming from.
Right.
But he hear the sound. So he play it on his instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And then he can put words to it. Right? When he did that woman wrong, don't he always sing the blues? Right? And then he talk about how bad his life has been since she been gone.
Facts.
Right? Ain't no sunshine in the heart of the city. Right? Ain't no sunshine when she gone. He got the musical backdrop from the frequency of her dances as he translated it into music to play for the people. But he don't know where he hearing this music play at. And it all rides the wave of mitochondrial resonance. Because mitochondrial resonance is the carrier of the love frequency, which is the root to all music. Okay, look, this is me and Blue Pill coming back together. Was it 2 years later?
2 years later, yes.
Remember 2 years ago, it was a concert, a Free Larry Hoover concert.
That's right.
In LA.
Right. Indeed it was.
Who was in it?
It was Ye and Drake.
Yeah. Right. Now, at the time that was going on, it was a chapter or a book in Revelation was playing out in the stars, where it said that the woman was heavy pregnant with child, and she was in labor, and the dragon was waiting to consume the child at its birth.
At its birth, yes.
Okay. That's what the star alignment was when they did that concert. Now, in the Gemini constellation, Virgo constellations are preeminent at this time, because while the dragon is waiting to consume the Gemini, the twin pillars, is what she's holding on to. Right? They have art from Christian artists' rendition of the painting showing the dragon waiting to devour the child, and the woman is standing there, she's holding on to the pillars. And she's pregnant. And the reason why they're showing that, because they're showing us an artist's rendition of a stellar event. Right? So now they wrote about it, they painted it, and it played out in the stars. Now, there's something called a turnaround. When the energy come back that's been put out. What's Kanye's zodiac sign?
It's Gemini.
What's Kendrick's zodiac sign?
Gemini.
So Drake now trapped between the two pillars.
The two pillars, yes.
Which is the Gemini flip. Of the beginning flips the end as they slay the dragon.
As they slay the dragon, right.
This comes from the hero's journey. If you go back to all of the great heroes, they all had to save the lady from the dragon.
Yes, the damsel from the dragon.
Right? The hero's journey is the blueprint for the pretender to the throne to have a seamless transition of power. As one age closed and a new age open, the people that's responsible for it, they watching these stellar events, and they watching what the people wrote about these stellar events, and then they watching how is it playing out in the human arena, because we playing the parts on Earth in our day-to-day life, never knowing that we all imitate one of them stars in the sky.
That part.
So when we see the codes come in, they binary codes, it look like the streamer in the Matrix. But that's not how the ancients told us about it. The ancients showed us long arms reaching from the solar orb with hands on the end, touching on the family.
That's right.
Damn.
Right? It's the same thing. It's the data, the upgrades is telling you the holy drama. What we about to go through is already something that the ancients have mapped out by following the stars for a prolonged period of time.
Yes. Cycles
repeat. Some cycles take longer than others to repeat due to the amount of distance between the 2 points in which the energy returns. So this gives you a varying turnaround time. Some women have instant manifestation where they could be sitting there and they clasp their hand over their uterus and say, I sure need $50 to feed these babies. And then 2-3 hours later, somebody knocking on the door with a $50 check that they where she overpaid something 5 years ago. And she ain't had no knowledge of it. Did it really happen, or did her manifestation cause a Mandela effect? You see, so when you when you put it all together, it's explaining itself as it's playing out. We watching it, trying to figure out what it's telling us. The inheritance comes from the motherland of the wealth of the family.
Yes.
So the mother disseminates the wealth to the children. If you want to undermine that, supplant that, Yakub that, right? You replace the motherland with the patriarchs, and you have to create a fictitious system, which is an elaborate illusion, a David Copperfield trick to make everybody believe that the mother is irrelevant. So you erase her out of your religions, and you push a homosexual agenda in order to feminize the males so they don't stand up and fight for their mama. Look, I was just having a conversation earlier on Facebook with a guy, and I was telling him, HARP is turned off. If you pay attention to the shooting residents in the solar activity,